love you, Cat. I love you, Cat.
Hi.
I'm so happy. You're so awesome,
It's not my
Mom.
birthday.
You're so awesome, Mom.
You're so awesome.
Thanks, Mom.
Thank
Thanks, Mom.
Thank you.
Okay. I want Omnitrix game.
No more wigs for me.
Mom, I want Omnitrix game. I want Omnitrix game. I want Omnitrix game.
I tore my wig off, y'all. Let me see that.
I want the Omnitrix
And please
game.
don't ask me about that thing, y'all. Cause I got the thing right here. I just don't know how to properly put it back in there. I'm about to show y'all. But yeah, hey y'all. Gotta do messy stuff. I don't care to deal with any of that.
Yes.
If it ain't got nothing to do with me
Yes.
or my babies, I don't care.
Yes.
I don't care about what anybody has to say.
Yes.
The internet did not wake up gently today. It got dragged into pure chaos like somebody flipped a table, hit record, and said let it all burn because somehow, someway. Blueface is once again at the center of a situation so messy, so emotionally charged. It's got timelines shaking and group chats overheating. And right in the middle of this storm, Nevaeh pregnant, pressured, and now speaking out in a way that nobody saw coming. Now let's be real for a second. This isn't just drama anymore. This is giving full season finale meltdown energy where everything that's been building finally explodes. Because the clips, oh, they're not light. They're heavy, tense, uncomfortable. The kind of energy where you can literally feel the stress through the screen. And once the internet caught onto that vibe, yeah, it was game over. 1 minute people were scrolling casually. The next minute they're pausing videos, zooming in, replaying moments like courtroom evidence. Wait, did you hear that? Why does she sound like that? Now, something is seriously wrong here. And just like that, what started as curiosity turned into full-blown concern mixed with chaos. But here's where it gets even crazier. Because Nevaeh didn't just hint at something, she spoke. And when someone in that position finally speaks out, oh, it hits different. The tone, the emotion, the weight behind the words, it didn't feel like internet drama anymore. It felt personal. And the second that energy hit the timeline, the internet didn't just react. It erupted. Now everybody's asking questions. Is Blueface doing too much? Is Nevaeh being pushed too far? And why does it feel like there's a whole story we're not being told? Because let's be honest, nothing about this feels simple. It feels layered, messy, and dangerously close to crossing a line nobody can come back from. And just when people thought they understood what was happening, something else dropped that flipped the entire narrative upside down. And trust me, what came next? Nobody was ready for it. It always starts quietly, almost suspiciously calm, like the universe is holding its breath before everything crashes at once. Because when Blueface is involved, peace is never permanent. It's just a short intermission before chaos hits the stage again. At first, nothing seemed too wild. A few posts, a couple of reactions, some normal online activity that didn't raise too many alarms. But if you were paying attention, yeah, something felt off. The shift wasn't loud at first. No screaming, no viral explosion, just subtle energy changes that only real internet watchers could catch. A tone that didn't match the moment. A reaction that felt a little too forced. And right there in the middle of it all was Nevaeh and the way she carried herself. It didn't look comfortable. It didn't look relaxed. It looked like someone trying to hold it together while something bigger was building behind the scenes. And you already know the internet doesn't ignore energy like that. The second people sensed tension, everything changed. Timelines turned into investigation boards, clips started circulating, and fans began dissecting every second like it was evidence in a case. Did you see how she paused? Why did her tone sound like that? Nah, there's something deeper going on. And just like that, speculation turned into obsession. At this point, it wasn't about facts anymore, it was about perception. And once perception takes over, the story starts writing itself. People started building narratives off small moments, connecting dots that weren't even confirmed, but somehow felt real enough to believe. Because when emotions are visible, the internet fills in the blanks with its own version of the truth. Then came the moment that changed everything. Not subtle anymore. Not quiet. Just straight up energy that felt heavy, tense, and impossible to ignore. The kind of moment where even if you don't know the full story, you can feel the pressure through the screen. And that's when people stopped guessing and started reacting loudly. Fans immediately split into sides. Some rushed to defend Nevaeh, saying the stress looked real, the discomfort looked genuine, and something wasn't sitting right. Others defended Blueface, saying people were jumping to conclusions without knowing what really happened behind closed doors. And just like that, the internet turned into a battlefield. But here's where things started getting even messier. Because once the situation gained traction, old clips started resurfacing. Past interactions, previous moments, things people ignored before suddenly became important evidence. The timeline detectives were working overtime, pulling up everything they could find to support their theories. And in the world of viral drama, old footage is never safe. Every new clip added another layer. Every reaction made things more complicated. And the craziest part, nobody involved was stepping back. No one was trying to calm the situation down. If anything, the energy kept escalating like a fire that refused to burn out. Meanwhile, Nevaeh's presence stayed at the center of it all. The more people watched, the more they felt like something deeper was happening. It wasn't just about what was being said, it was about how it was being said. The tone, the pauses, the expressions, everything carried weight. And that made the audience even more invested. Because now it didn't feel like entertainment, it felt real. And when something feels real on the internet, it spreads faster than anything else. Now Blueface, on the other hand, moved like someone who wasn't about to explain himself. No long statements, no emotional breakdowns, just that same unbothered energy that always leaves people divided. Because some saw confidence, while others saw a complete lack of accountability. And that contrast? Yeah, it made everything worse. Because when one person looks calm and the other looks overwhelmed, the internet doesn't stay neutral, it reacts loudly, emotionally, and sometimes without all the facts. And that's exactly what was happening here. Then came the reactions that really pushed things over the edge, moments that felt too real to ignore, energy that felt too strong to dismiss. And just like that, the narrative shifted from maybe something's wrong to yeah, something is definitely going on. And once that conclusion hit the timeline, there was no going back. At this point, the situation had completely outgrown its original spark. What started as a subtle shift turned into a full-blown spectacle with multiple angles, multiple opinions, and zero clarity. And through it all, the tension just kept building. Because the real question wasn't just what we were seeing, it was what we weren't seeing. What conversations happened off camera? What moments didn't get posted? What details were being left out? And the more people thought about those questions, the more intense the situation became. Because when the internet feels like it's missing pieces, it doesn't calm down. It gets louder and louder. And messier. And way more unpredictable. And just when it felt like things couldn't get any more intense, something shifted again. A reaction. A statement. A moment that didn't just add to the drama, but completely changed the direction of the entire story. And this is where everything went from this looks uncomfortable to full-blown internet meltdown. The kind where timelines freeze, notifications won't stop buzzing, and everybody suddenly becomes a certified expert in reading between the lines. Because the moment no reactions started surfacing, yeah, it didn't clear anything up, it made the entire situation 10 times more chaotic. Clips started dropping like surprise plot twists, back to back, different angles, different tones. And somehow none of them told the exact same story. It was like watching 10 versions of the same moment, each one adding confusion instead of clarity. And the internet, oh, it didn't slow down, it took the chaos and ran with it like it had somewhere to be. At the center of it all, Blueface continued moving with that same calm, almost detached energy that always leaves people arguing. No deep explanations, no emotional breakdowns, Just vibes that basically said, "You're gonna think what you wanna think," and that right there, it split the audience instantly because some saw control, while others saw complete disregard. Meanwhile, Nevaeh became the emotional core of the entire situation. Every appearance, every reaction, every small detail got analyzed like it was a hidden message. People were pausing clips, zooming in, replaying moments frame by frame like they were decoding something deeper. And depending on who you ask, she was either trying to stay strong or quietly overwhelmed by everything happening around her. And that's when the internet stopped treating it like entertainment. It started feeling personal. Because once emotions start showing, the audience doesn't just watch, they connect. And that connection, it made the reactions louder, stronger, and way more intense than before. People weren't just commenting anymore, they were invested. Then came the comparisons. Fans started saying this situation felt like a WWE main event, where tension builds slowly before everything explodes in one chaotic moment. Others compared it to a Marvel movie scene where alliances shift mid-battle and nobody knows who's on whose side anymore. And honestly, both made sense because the situation had reached a level where it didn't even feel real anymore, it felt scripted. But with real emotions, memes took over fast, clips got edited with dramatic music, captions turned into punchlines, and entire moments became viral within minutes. But underneath all the humor, the tension never left. If anything, it got heavier. Because the more people joked about it, the more serious it actually started to feel. Then came the contradictions. Then came the contradictions. Statements that didn't match earlier behavior, reactions that raised more questions than answers. And the internet loves inconsistencies, it treats them like treasure. So now people weren't just reacting, they were comparing timelines like investigators building a case, old footage resurfaced showing completely different vibes, and suddenly everything people thought they understood, it started falling apart. Because when things don't line up, the narrative doesn't stay stable, it shifts. And once it starts shifting, there's no controlling it. Fan outrage hit another level. We're talking full essays. Not comments, paragraphs breaking down every move, every word, every possible meaning behind what was said. People arguing like they were personally involved, defending their positions with passion like this was the AGIR situation. And in the middle of all that noise, the unanswered questions kept growing because no matter how many clips surfaced, no matter how many opinions were shared, it still felt like something was missing. Like we were only seeing part of the story, not the full picture. And that feeling, it made everything more intense. Because if what we saw was already this chaotic, what's happening behind the scenes? That question alone sent the timeline into overdrive. People refreshing pages, checking stories, watching for updates like they were waiting for a surprise drop. Because now it wasn't just about reacting, it was about anticipating what would happen next. Meanwhile, Blueface stayed consistent in his approach, calm, controlled, and not giving the internet the explanation it clearly wanted. And that silence, it didn't calm anything down. It made things worse because people started filling in the blanks themselves. And when the internet fills in blanks, it doesn't stay reasonable. Nevaeh, on the other hand, continued to be the focus of emotional reactions. The more people watched, the more they felt like they were seeing something deeper than surface-level drama. And that made everything hit harder, because now it didn't just feel like a story, it felt like a situation. Then came the rumor wave. Whispers started spreading that there was more behind the scenes. More footage, more conversations, more context that hadn't been revealed yet. And just like that, the tone shifted again. Because now people weren't just reacting to what they saw. They were thinking about what they didn't see. And that changed everything. Because if there's more to the story, if certain moments haven't been shown, if certain conversations stayed private, then the narrative we've been watching might not be the full truth. And that realization, it hit hard. Because now the internet isn't just watching, it's waiting for that one clip, that one statement, That one moment that could either confirm everything or flip the entire story upside down. And with the way things are building, that moment feels closer than ever. And when it drops, yeah, it might just break the internet completely. And just when it felt like the situation couldn't stretch any further, it didn't break, it transformed. Because what we're seeing now isn't just drama continuing, it's the aftermath unfolding in real time. The kind of aftermath where emotions don't settle, they linger, they echo, and they start changing how everybody involved is being seen by the world. At the center of it all, Blueface is still standing in that same calm, controlled stance, but the pressure around him, yeah, it's unavoidable now. Criticism is coming from every direction, fans questioning his actions, others trying to defend him like they're part of the situation themselves. And when that spotlight gets this intense, even silence starts feeling like a statement. Meanwhile, Nevaeh has become the emotional heartbeat of the entire narrative. The more people watch, the more it feels like something deeper is going on beneath the surface. It's not just what she says, it's how she says it, how she reacts, how she carries the weight of everything happening. And that's what's pulling people in even more. Because now, this doesn't feel like entertainment anymore. It feels real. And when something feels real on the internet, the reactions hit differently. People aren't just commenting, they're empathizing, projecting, questioning. The energy shifts from "this is messy" to "this is concerning." And that's when things start getting uncomfortable. Then comes the ripple effect. Because once a situation reaches this level, it doesn't stay contained. It starts affecting reputations, relationships, and how people are viewed moving forward. Every action gets reanalyzed. Every past moment gets pulled back into the spotlight. And suddenly, the story isn't just about what's happening now, it's about everything connected to it. And escaping that kind of attention, almost impossible. Then come the deeper conversations, questions about respect, about pressure, about what really goes on behind closed doors when the cameras aren't rolling. Because the more people think about it, the more it feels like we're only seeing part of the story. And that thought alone, it keeps the situation alive. Because if there are missing pieces, if certain conversations haven't been revealed, if what we're seeing is only what was chosen to be shown, then the reality of the situation might be completely different. And that's when the narrative starts to shift again. Because now it's not just about what happened, it's about what might be hidden. And the internet, oh, it loves a hidden storyline. It thrives on the idea that there's more waiting to be uncovered. Then something subtle happens, not loud, not dramatic, but noticeable. A reaction that feels calmer than expected, a tone that doesn't match the chaos surrounding it. And just like that, confusion enters the conversation again. Because now people are wondering, was everything as intense as it looked? Or was there something we didn't understand? And that question, yeah, it changes everything. Because once doubt enters the narrative, nothing feels certain anymore. The sides that people pick start feeling less solid. The opinions start shifting. And the confidence people had in their assumptions, it starts to fade. Now the internet isn't just reacting, it's second-guessing. And that's a whole different level of chaos. Because second-guessing means the story isn't settled. It means people are still looking for answers, still waiting for clarity, still expecting something else to drop. And with the way this situation has been unfolding, that expectation feels justified. Because nothing about this has been simple, nothing about this has been predictable, and nothing about this feels finished. If anything, it feels like we've been watching the build-up to something bigger, something that hasn't happened yet, but is clearly coming. The kind of moment that doesn't just add to the story, but completely flips it. And if that moment really does exist, if there's still something waiting behind the scenes, something that hasn't been revealed yet, then everything we've seen so far might just be the beginning. And that's what makes this situation so intense. Because we're not just watching a story unfold, we're watching a story that might not have reached its biggest moment yet. And when that moment finally hits, Yeah, it might change everything all over again. Alright, now be honest. Don't just sit there like you didn't just watch a whole emotional roller coaster unfold in real time. This wasn't just drama, this was tension, confusion, pressure, and straight chaos wrapped into one situation that had the entire internet acting like detectives overnight. I already know you've got opinions, and not just small ones either. I'm talking full theories, strong takes, and maybe even a side you've been riding with this whole time. So go ahead and drop it in the comments right now. Who do you think is really being pushed too far? And what do you think is actually happening behind the scenes that we're not being shown? And don't hold back either. We want the real thoughts, the bold takes, the messy opinions, because let's be honest, this situation still feels incomplete. Every time it looks like we understand it, something new pops up and changes the entire direction again. Now go ahead and smash that like button. Like it owes you money, like it borrowed your charger and disappeared, like it started drama and then acted innocent. And make sure you hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next twist, because you already know this story is far from finished. Stay locked in, stay loud, and stay ready for whatever comes next, because over here at Fame Flaws, we don't just watch the drama, we break it down, flip it, and turn it into something you can't look away from.